Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how the final project is supposed to look. It's a Windows Form app that's going to read in a text file that contains data, and that data is going to be sortable using the iComparable interface, and you can also sort that data using LINQ. Now, the purpose of this whole thing is to generate team rosters that are roughly even. So the data file for the players, let's go pop over and look at that, has got player names in it. So it's got last name, first name, player number, and then number of goals, number of assists, and number of penalty minutes. So what you're going to do is read this file in using file.readAll lines. Then you can loop through the lines, split each line on the commas, and then you'll get an array of fields. And then you can use each field, each element of your array, to construct a new player object. So you're going to have to create a class called player that's going to have, last name, first name, player number, goals, assists, penalty minutes. So you're going to have to create a class that wraps one of these, that wraps a record in this file. Now let's actually go back to the program here, and notice we have a menu strip. It's got help, help menu, and let's go to the file menu, and you can see we've got a menu option here for loading data. So I'm going to select this option, and now it's going to use an open file dialog to ask me what file to open, and I'm going to pick the text file with the data in it. Click OK, and you can see that data is now in the data grid here, and you're seeing it in the same order that it's in the file, but you want to be able to sort it on different fields. So if I want to sort it on last name, I'm going to use the built-in sort behavior, because your player class is going to implement the iComparable interface and be sortable by default on last name. But we could sort this data on other fields as well. So now you can see we've sorted it by player number. So that's kind of the first part. Now the fun part here is the second tab. So we've got a tab control here, and we've got two data grids, and let me click create, and what it's going to do is it's going to go through this data, and it's going to look at it in pairs. So it's going to rank the players by points, and then we're going to just grab a pair of players and randomly assign one player to the home team and one to the visitors team. And we're going to do that for every pair of players. And if you end up with an odd number of players like you will here, then just randomly assign that last player to a team. It doesn't matter which one. So that's how this program is going to generate kind of randomized rosters. However, the sort of the strength of the teams will be roughly even, because you're sorting the players by their total points, and then saying, okay, you go to that team, you go to that team, and that. But that's going to be, you'll use a random number generator for that. Like if it's a 1, then assign the players to the visitors and the home team, or the home team and the visitors team. Right? Just kind of randomize who goes where. But you're going to look at them in pairs, and that way kind of the best players get split up evenly. Now let's go back and see what that looks like. So here's my program, and I've got my data loaded. So let me click create, and you can see what it's done here is it has taken the strongest players and kind of split them up. The next strongest players split them up. The next strongest players split them up. The next strongest players split them up. But if I click the create button again, you'll see they get randomized differently. But the overall strength of the teams will be roughly the same, because we're ranking the players and then kind of saying, okay, you go there, 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 right? It's kind of like, in gym class, they might line people up by height, for basketball, and then send people to, one side of the gym or the other. So that's how that works. Okay, and then now that we've got the data here, you're going to be able to save it. So this button here, save, that will pop up a save file dialog, and you'll be able to type in the name of the file that you want to save to. I'll just save to my roster.html, and notice we're saving this thing as an HTML file. Why? Because it's easy to format an HTML file. So let's, I'm going to click Save. Yes. So now if I actually go to Chrome here and I pull up that file and I hit refresh, you can see it has generated this for me. It's taken team 1 and it's written it out into an HTML table, and team 2 and written it out to an HTML table. Now if you're freaking out saying, oh, no HTML, okay, hang on, woo, nobody die. Let's go back to the instructions, because I've given you everything you need. I've made it easy for you. Okay, so here are the instructions, and let's scroll down here. So everything is all spelled out, step by step, what you need to do. So let's look at the instructions for printing out the roster. So use a save file dialog to prompt the user to pick a file to save to. Use the file name to open up a stream writer. Right now you're going to be able to write to that file that the player typed in. And now you're going to write out the table 1 header, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Write out the name and number of the home team's players in the following format, right? So TR, table row, table data, first name, space, last name, close the table data, start a new table data, put the number, close the table data, start a new, and then this is this start a new table data and close the table data. So that empty table data there with nothing in it, that's just that's that little blank place where the player is going to sign in. And then finally close the table row. So what you want to do is print out something that looks like this, where the first name and the last name are grouped together and the player's number is here. And this, if you print it out in this formatting, it'll all work for you. So you're just going to loop through your players and print them out like that. Now, okay, so let's just review that. Print out the table header, write out the players in that format, write out the table 2 header, write out the, this is going to be the visitors team's players, visitor team players in the same format as the home team players. So again, just that all over again, different list. And then finally write out the footer. Okay, you're like, oh God, where am I going to get the header and the footer? The header and the footer are right here in the file. So you want to just write all that out to the file. You can have write line statements for all of that. You can make one, you could put that in a text file and say read all lines, or or read all text, get it as a string, and then write it out to the stream writer. So it's up to you how you actually get that into the output stream. And then there's the table 2 header, and then finally the page footer, right? So what this is doing is it's creating the HTML style sheet and starting the table. Then you're going to write out the table rows. Then you're going to write out this thing, the table 2 header, which closes the first table and starts the second table. Then you're going to write out the visitors team's players. Then you're going to write out the page footer. And that will collectively, when you're done with it, it will look like this, right? That's what your HTML source file should look like. So here's that table header. You're going to write out all this stuff. Then you're going to write out the second header. It's going to write out that. Then you're going to write out the visitor players in that format. And then finally, you're going to write out the page footer. And then at that point, you will have a syntactically complete HTML file. So that's it. So this was a fun little program that kind of took me about a morning sitting here at my desk at the Technology Center of DuPage. There's a lot here. None of it is particularly hard, and all of this has been covered in the previous homework exercises. So that file I/O stuff, go look at the bingo card videos if you forgot how to do that. If you forgot how to do iComparable, go back and look at the Evil Insurance Company activity. If you are not sure how to do the link stuff, go back and rewatch the videos on link. These are simple link queries. Other years I've had people join 3 tables together. There's no joins here. It's very, very simple. There's just, all you have to do is just order by. And that's kind of it. So, and if you forgot how to do the data grids, the XML weather activity, I think we use data grids there. So that's it. It's actually not, there's a lot of pieces to it, but it's actually no particular piece is that hard. And the instructions are very, very step by step with lots and lots of pictures, right? So create a Windows form app, import system.io, create your interface, right? So you want your interface to look like that. On the second tab page, add 2 more data grids. Okay, but there we go. Implementing the guts of the program. Here's how to make that player class that implements iComparable. So everything you need is spelled out here. Everything is spelled out step by step by step. So, so that's it, as well as here's your data, right? So where you get, that's a good question. Where are you going to get your data? Just take this, paste it into a file, call it like data.txt or players.txt or something, and that should work for you. But if you have any questions on how to get that going, you get stuck, just email me and I'll be happy to help you. But and then you can reskin this program or modify it to, I don't know, be applicable or relevant to whatever whatever time wasting activity you like to do.